Good morning, little fish! It's been a whole week since we saw you last. Some of you have been to school, some of you have been to nursery, and some of you have stayed at home with Mummy and Daddy. But whatever you've been doing, we hope that you have had a really wonderful time. This week, we're going to start with some rhyme time, and we're going to get up, and we're going to get moving around, we're going to do some dancing! Are you ready? Let's start with wind the bobbin up. Have you got your hands ready? Ready? Wind the bobbin up, wind the bobbin up, pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Wind it back again, wind it back again, pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Point to the ceiling, point to the floor, point to the window, point to the door. Clap your hands together, 1, 2, 3. Lay your hands upon your knee. Shall we do it again? Are you ready? Wind the bobbin up, wind the bobbin up, pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Wind it back again, wind it back again, pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Point to the ceiling, point to the floor, point to the window, point to the door. Clap your hands together, 1, 2, 3. Put your hands upon your knee. We're going to do a counting song now. Get your fingers ready. 5 little ducks went swimming one day, over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 but only 4 little ducks came back. Only 4? 4 little ducks went swimming one day, over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 but only 3 little ducks came back. Only 3? 3 little ducks went swimming one day, over the hill and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 but only 2 little ducks came back. 2? 2 little ducks went swimming one day, over the hill and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 only 1 little duck came back. Only 1? 1 little duck went swimming one day, over the hill and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 but no little ducks came back. Oh. Sad mother duck went out one day, over the hills and far away. Sad mother duck said quack, 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 and all 5 little ducks came back. All 5! Now that we've warmed up our arms, let's warm up our whole body. Heads, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Heads, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Heads and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Gonna get a bit quicker. Are you ready? Let's go. Heads and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Heads and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, and eyes and ears, mouth and nose. Heads and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Whoa, it's getting super fast. Are you ready? Heads and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Heads and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Heads and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Yay! Well done, little fish. You're such great little dancers. So after all of that singing and dancing, I think it's time we had a story time, don't you? We've got a lovely treat for you today. One of our lovely volunteers, Lainy, has agreed to read the book today.
Hello everyone, my name's Lainy and I'm going to read you a story today about a little boy who feels just awful. It was just after lunch when it happened. James cut his finger in the school playground. It hurt and it bled a little. James felt just awful. He went to see his teacher, Mrs. Smith. "What happened?" she said. "I cut my finger," said James, "and it's bleeding a little, and it hurts too." "Oh," said Mrs. Smith, "I see. Well, how do you feel?" "Just awful," said James. "I think you had better see the nurse," said Mrs. Smith. "I will write a note for you so you can go straight away." James felt worse than ever. He'd never been to see the nurse before. He was scared. When James got to the nurse's room, he sat down next to a stomachache and a sore toe. The stomachache went in to see the nurse. James was left with the sore toe. Then the stomachache came out of the nurse's room. He had a big smile on his face. "Oh, I wish I had a stomachache instead of a cut finger," thought James. The nurse came to the door and asked the sore toe to come inside. The sore toe went in to see the nurse. Now James was left all alone. Things were at their worst. Then the sore toe came out of the nurse's room. She had a big smile on her face. "Oh, I wish I had a sore toe instead of a cut finger," thought James. And then the nurse came to the door and asked James to come inside. "Well, what happened to you, James?" said the nurse. She was a jolly nurse. So James told her the whole story. He told her about the playground and his finger and about how he felt just awful. The nurse examined the finger very carefully. "Oh, I think you're going to be all right," she smiled. "But I would like to give you the 3-part treatment, just in case." "The what?" said James, and he hid his hands behind his back. "It is not bad at all," the nurse said, as she led James to the sink. "The first part is the cleaning," said the nurse, and she put his finger under some warm water. That really was not bad at all. The finger did not hurt. It was just a little warm and wet. Then the nurse took a great big sticking plaster out of a box. "Next comes the bandaging," she said, and she wrapped the great big sticking plaster round the finger until James could hardly see it anymore. James was really feeling much better. "And now," said the nurse, "the most important part of all." "Are you sure it's so important?" said James. He had no idea what would happen next. He started feeling awful again. "Oh yes, very important," said the nurse. "Now come over here and I will give it to you." James started walking very slowly towards the nurse. What would become of him? Just as he got to the nurse, she reached out to James and gave him a great big hug. "Oh boy," laughed James. "Yippee! I feel terrific," said James. "Well, I think you can go back to your class," said the nurse. When James got back to his class, Mrs. Smith asked him how he felt. "I think I am going to be all right," said James. And he was.
So I hope you enjoyed all of that singing and dancing and that wonderful story that Lainy read. And please join us next week for some more.